conference.
Thanks, Jackie. Good morning, everyone. I am Jason Anderson, the District Attorney for the County of San Bernardino. And as Jackie indicated, we filed charges this morning on Mr. Halstenberg as a result of what's known as the line fire. We've filed a total of 9 charges. I'll go through most of those in some specificity. We have a PowerPoint presentation that'll run to make it a little bit easier to understand what the context is for the different charges. First off, I do want to thank the Sheriff's Department. I want to thank CAL FIRE for their joint investigation and how quickly they were able to bring this case to us, be able to file charges. I want to let you know and remind the public that this is an ongoing crime. The fire is still burning. And so things could change throughout the development of this fire, whether additional people are injured or whether additional structures are burned. It will be an ongoing investigation, just aware that some things will change. I specifically want to thank other members of law enforcement who have backed up the Sheriff's Department as it relates to giving aid to communities that have had to be evacuated when the community has to leave their homes. Unfortunately, sometimes that can lead to opening it up to other types of crime. The Sheriff's Department has been all over that. Other agencies within San Bernardino County have given mutual aid to that, and so hopefully that's a reassurance to the members of the community that while they're worried about their homes and they're getting into safety, that they don't have to worry about something else happening to their house, and fortunately that it doesn't burn down. So let me go through the charges a little bit. So we have a total of 9. The first charge obviously is an arson charge that is in regards to over a particular amount, over $7 million. That's significant because at last calculation, CAL FIRE had the damages so far at about $14.5 million worth of damages that have occurred at the line fire. It's up to over 34,000 acres is my understanding. Count 2 involves great bodily injury of a firefighter who was injured. Obviously, that's something that we contemplate. Unfortunately, we've seen in the past as fires in this region continue to be a scourge that we've had firefighters die. In this instance, we have not had that happen, thankfully, but at least in one instance, we've had a firefighter suffer great bodily injury. Count 3 involves a particular residence in Running Springs that was confirmed burned down as a structure fire. When you're dealing with arson types of cases, those are the things that are most significant because that has the most impact on the public. Additionally, on our complaint, there are charges of 3 separate incendiary devices. And the reason I'm talking about 3 separate incendiary devices is that what you're talking about, and we'll show you through the map in a second, is there's actually 3 different arsons that occur. There's what we characterize as one in one area, and there's 2 there's a 2 and a 3 right next to each other. The third one that we delineate is the one that's still burning, known as the line fire. So there was arson that occurred at 2 other spots, the arson, the fire that continues to burn at the 3rd spot, incendiary devices found in those instances. So going forward, obviously, as I said, it's going to be an ongoing investigation. Yeah. So what you see on the screen there is a map of where we're talking about. Number 1 is where the first instance of arson occurred. We refer to it as kind of the Bacon fire because it's a Bacon Street. That's one area. And then when we look at the other slide, it should show where 2 and 3 are. So that's a little bit east of where the Bacon fire was, and 2 marks where a fire was started. It was put out. 1, a fire was started and it was put out. And then 3 is the fire that continues to burn. And based upon the investigation, in terms of the charges, the suspect's vehicle was in or around all of those areas at times in which the fires were started. Obviously, the sheriff went over, and he can answer more questions today, but he went over yesterday in terms of the identification of the defendant's vehicle, which was very, very helpful in pinpointing the times and the locations of when the fire were started. So I didn't go through all the charges, and the reason I didn't do that is some of them are going to overlap a little bit when you're talking about different instances of arson. As I said, because it's an ongoing investigation, things could change. We're continuing in the investigatory stage, obviously dealing with additional evidence that the Sheriff's Department has seized that will be helpful. The sheriff can answer any questions about that if there's any new developments on there. But I want to caution the public that We want to make sure that the community understands that we are filing charges, and based upon the evidence we have thus far, the charges that we are filing. I think we also want to reassure the community that, you know, arson is, in my experience in the criminal justice system for over 23 years, arson is just one of those crimes that is, and to me,
and you've been listening to the district attorney in San Bernardino County announcing that his office has filed charges against 34-year-old Justin Halstenberg, the suspect who they believe started the arson fire in the line fire. 9 different charges announced against him. He's detailing those charges right now. We know that the line fire has burned over 30,000 acres and is 18% contained. We will continue to follow what he's saying and bring you the latest later in this newscast.